Alright, so I got my rotating assembly back from the machine shop, and I was just cleaning the block up, getting ready to put the crank back in, and I got my first glimpse of the bolt that actually dug into the back of the crank here while it locked it up when I tried to turn it over by hand. Yeah, that would have been big bad. Yeah, take care of that right now. Alrighty, so this is where we're at today. I have piston rods 1 through 6 in. I need to go to the store and get more assembly lube because I just ran out on rod cap 6 here. I was able to get out enough for it, thankfully. But yeah, so they're getting them all lubed up good in the cylinders and everything, so nothing's dry. And I fire it up, which hopefully will just be early next week. Let's see if I can get the motor in the car tomorrow, New Year's Eve. So we'll see if I have time for that. Anyway, that is where I'm at now. I'm just gonna quick let the propane heater cool down. Alrighty, I gotta call it a day, but I got rotating assembly put together. So I got them all torqued and torque turned as per the specifications are supposed to be. Yeah, mains and rods. So that's all ready to go. When I get to, hopefully I'll have some time to work on it tomorrow. We'll see. I'll get the oil pump on and the front cover. And then I'll see if I can get the back cover just in and lined up. Throw the oil pan on. And then I'll flip it over, put the heads on, and keep on going. Okay, so I've got the motor and the transmission finally bolted up. I fought that for quite a while. The torque converters didn't really want to mate up to the crank. I must have just had it. The way I was trying to line it up was funny, so I just put it on the ground. Excuse me. All lined up, popped right together like it should. Everything fits now. The transmission lines I got, apparently those are for an extended Trailblazer, and I'm assuming with the straight 6 because they're a little too long and they don't quite fit around the V8 right. But I'm kind of out of patience and I can make it work. So I just kind of bent them up so that they fit about how they should. So I got that. I got to try and find, I can't remember. It seemed like the starter I'd gotten, oh, there it is. Didn't seem like the bolts fit through it. So I'm going to mock that up and make sure it works. I might just hook a battery up to it and see if it'll crank. And then can drop the motor in, finally. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It is currently like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Tuesday. I'll back to school a week from yesterday. Alrighty, good morning, everybody. So it is now Wednesday. I got up at a decent time this morning. Weather isn't bad. Kind of perfect for doing this, honestly. I just kind of wire wheel a couple more things, just splash a little bit of paint in the engine bay to clean it up a bit. So I saw the easiest way to get the headers in, watching some videos, was when you could move the motor around. So, well, if you got the motor on the crane yet, and cherry picker I'm just kind of each in there just with one bolt on them so they can kind of move around and not get hung up. I've got all the starter, so I got the starter, crank sensor, and then NOx sensor and the AC compressor all hooked up on this side, the wiring here. I'm about to get the I believe the only sensor on I believe it's just the NOx sensor on this side. It's kind of a pain to get at. Got the cam sensor plugged in. Just got to try and get all this wiring figured out, set it down in there, and then this is all, once I get it set in there, this is all it runs back down to the transmission and stuff. So those are the 2 transmission plugs. Anyway, Yeah, I've got welder up here, so this is my dad's friend's welder he's letting me borrow. Just a MIG welder so I can do the exhaust. I went and picked up some adapters last night so I can get everything to work, and some clamps for the muffler and the exhaust system. So I got my Flowmaster muffler, 50 series big block muffler, dual in, dual out. It was just a universal 2.5 inch stainless kit I got. I don't remember exactly where I got it from. Seems a pretty nice kit for the most part, and the long pieces are in the box right there. Anyway, been at this for not really even 2 hours, so I'm kind of impressed how far I actually am. And I haven't even been doing the motor for that long, so it's going really well. I'm feeling good today, so I'm just gonna keep going. And alrighty, I've been fighting with this for a while. So this header I'm probably going to have to pull out and just try and bang this one in a little bit, because when I set it up against the motor, and this is without the gasket, it's touching the strut support. This side is all clear. I just got to get that mounted. I've been fighting with the fuel line and the evap. I got that all on there. I'm still fighting the front axles. They don't want to, or the axle shafts, they don't want to pop into the diff, and this side the carrier bearing. I think it's just, yeah, it takes a lot of force, so I'm just trying to get it wiggle it in there, but I'm not trying to force it too hard because I don't want to break something. So yeah, that was just figured quick thing on wiring. So for people where wiring gets kind of scary, which sometimes it can for me even, just break it down. So this one is a O2 sensor, one of the rear ones. This I believe is the speed sensor that goes into the transfer case. So this is your transmission plug. This is the other rear O2 sensor, and this is the transmission gear selector sensor plug thing. So then we come up farther, we have an upper O2 sensor, oil pressure sensor. This is if your motor has DOD. This one being an LS2 does not. A lot of the 5.3s will. This is the other front O2 sensor. Come up to the top. So this is kind of where this is sitting. So this is the passenger side. This is your coil packs, injectors. Let's see, that's 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. I believe one of these two, I believe this gray one here is the throttle body. It's one of these two. I'm not sure which one. This is AC, I believe. A little AC pressure sensor and ground. So that's basically the engine harness here. This your water temp, sorry. Just plugs in right here. And then you have a NOx sensor that runs back behind that motor mount. It's a pain in the butt to get to. I recommend doing the NOx sensors. And then on this side, the starter and crank sensor while the motor's up in the air, because they're all back behind there, and basically once you get the header in, you can't get to it. AC's down here, or the compressor, sorry. And the cam sensor plug is down here. I believe that's everything on the engine harness, minus a few grounds. There's 1, 2, and the big one down here, 3. Yeah, so these wires are pretty old, crunchy, but they'll work. Yeah, so that's basically the drivetrain harness for the most part on one of these. And then yeah, everything else is just kind of plugging in what fits.